You move your body with the power of your mind, so technically you have telekinetic abilities, they're just limited to yourself. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Carl Monroe and you've done some really weird stuff in other people's dreams. Animal Crossing for the Switch is coming out soon, or it already has come out depending on when this is. So we figured we'd explore the realm of creeps and spooks with today's list of the top 10 Animal Crossing creepypastas. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't yet and hit like if you love Animal Crossing. Now, roll the intro. Starting us off in at number 10, Dead Town. After getting a new copy of Animal Crossing New Leaf, I played through the tutorial and payback portion of the game quickly. It was very surprising. So with the free time this gave me, I decided to explore. What I found was a neighbor named Reaper that was building a house next to mine, but for ages the only thing I saw was the front entrance to his house. I had to go to bed so I saved and left the game, but when I came back the next day, the townsfolk were sad, saying that a character named Deli had gone missing. One by one, neighbors started going missing as well as the Reaper's home was getting built. And when I would check the missing people's homes, they were all destroyed. When I saved the game, a cloaked figure would poke his head out of the Reaper's door. This happened every time I saved. Things kept getting worse. So assuming that the Reaper was the cause, I decided to confront him. Upon entering the home, I was shocked to see dismembered limbs. The arms and legs of my neighbors were hanging on the walls. The door behind me shut, and then I saw the Reaper standing in front of me. In at 9, New Leaf Alien. I borrowed a copy of Animal Crossing New Leaf from a friend. When I got it, I ran home to play it on my 3DS, but by the time I got home, it was 10 PM, so I decided to go to sleep instead. After waking up to use the bathroom, I couldn't get back to sleep, so I decided to play New Leaf to try to make me drowsy. After 2 hours, I finished the basics. I moved into town, named myself Rasputin Jerkface, but my character had moved on his own. I assumed it was just me tapping the screen by accident, so I disregarded it and continued on. After collecting some fruit for Nook, I decided to try out the TV. It was 3:33 AM in game, and suddenly an alien showed up on screen. The alien started speaking gibberish and showed text that said, "One shall die. One child will give enough energy to power your life for a while." Then the whole game went static and shut down. I decided that it was a good time to go back to sleep. I don't know why you think that's a good time to go back to sleep, but whatever. And later that week I decided to try it again. The alien on the TV instead said, "It must be done. I can't go back now." And then the game shut down again. I restarted the game and nobody was in town. I checked all their houses, but they all had gravestones saying it has been done. Later that day I returned the game to my friend, but he wasn't home. And on the news that night they had a story about a man found dead in his house, showing a picture of my friend who had a note saying it has been done. And it ate the Corruptor. It was Christmas in 2008. My sister had just gotten City Folk and she was ecstatic. She started a new town at 8 AM and didn't suspect anything. 6 years later I found the game. I hadn't played since like 2012, but figured since I was playing New Leaf I might as well have a throwback. I set up my old Wii and threw it in, but when I saw the character they were angry. He ended up speaking, yelling, "That fool." I started sweating. Everyone in the town was telling me, "Zach, you gotta go. You're gonna get killed." I saved the game and quit and went to put the game away, but I saw the cover, which had Nook having red eyes and an axe. The cover had never been like that before, so I put the game back in to try to find the culprit. I confronted Nook and he told me that if I left, he would destroy the axe. When I saved the game and quit, the cover had changed again, but not to what I was expecting. And at 7, you did this. When I loaded up my game, I knew something was up. The background was inverted with black and red, and the game chose a home for me. There were also no animals running around, or even music. Then a random text box appeared with 3 options: run, away, and now. I picked run and suddenly my character appeared. I started walking and another text box appeared saying they're all gone. The screen then flashed white and transported me to Nook's shop. Going inside I saw Nook laying on the table, with a knife sticking out of his stomach. I screamed and the game responded saying, "Why are you frightened? You did this." The screen then started flashing black and red, as it showed me that everyone else in town had suffered the same fate as Tom. My character then turned to me saying he wished I had never seen this and that I should burn the disc for our sake. I tried. I deleted the game but I couldn't eject the disc. Instead the Wii started smoking and the screen flashed over all the dead neighbors, as a text box appeared that told me to remember. I did this. And at 6, burn with them. I got a copy of Animal Crossing at the nearby GameStop. The previous owner was a girl who had perished in a fire a year prior. Somehow the game had been preserved through the fire. and the family figured they would get rid of it, since it was a reminder of how their daughter was addicted to the game and it was the reason she lost her life. I was also addicted to playing and had lost my old copy, so I figured I'd pick it up anyway. When I got home I saw the game could continue, so I clicked it and everything was a mess. But in the mailbox there was a real letter from someone named Sadie. It said, "My world is a mess, can you fix it?" Nobody in the game has that name, so I assumed it was the girl who died. I got creeped out, so I restarted the game and got rid of that save. I played for a bit, then went to sleep. When I got home from school the next day, I saw my sister talking to my DS. She turned to me and said Sadie is mad at you, and that we will end up just like her if we don't fix her world. I looked up and found a news article about the fire. There was an electrical issue that caused the house to engulf in flames. The mother was bashing on the door to Sadie's bedroom, but she could only hear her talking about the game. The only thing that survived the fire was the game. If you find this copy, 3 dead girls now haunt it, and if you play it, you need to play it every day, or else you'll burn with them. And at 5, Deadleaf. I used to be a huge fan of Animal Crossing, but not anymore. Let me tell you why. My cousin and I lived together. My mother and her brother were doing this for financial reasons. Luckily, we were moving into a new home and we were super excited. It was a very nice house. While moving, we found a box under a bed that inside had a 3DS case with a game and piece of paper. The paper said that this game had been cursed and that we should destroy it rather than play it. But it was Animal Crossing New Leaf. It was one of my favorite games, so I loaded it into my new 2DS XL. But New Leaf was replaced with Deadleaf on the title screen. We pressed start and we played the town that was already there. There were 2 villagers called Jack and Tom. I think these were the ones who left the message. We looked around town, but everyone was dead. One of the only people left was Isabel, who said that she was miserable and going to end her life. She died by hanging later that day. Somehow we ran into another villager who approached us and asked if we were happy. We said no, to which he responded, "You really hate my world?" We said yes, and then he got hyper-realistic eyes and yelled, "You must die. You insulted me and my world of death. Look behind you, John and Harold." We didn't know how he knew our names, but there was no way in hell we brought that copy with us. And at 4, welcome to camp. When I get to camp, it turns out that the director has set up a special cabin for me, but when I get inside, there's no toilet, no sink, not even a goddamn chair. Then I meet the man himself outside, where he tells me that even though he set it up, I bought the house and needed to pay him back. So I need to work at his sweatshop in order to make up for it. I thought that this was a camp. Why did I buy a house and then have to work a part-time job to pay off a house that I didn't actually buy? I tried telling Nook that I'm just an 8-year-old on vacation that never bought a house, but that didn't go over well. He started losing it. He picked up a uniform and threw it in my face, telling me to put it on and pay him back or else he would gut me like a fish. I put it on and head outside, but the game had lost a lot of color. Tom then started following me, making sure I did my job, and even if I moved an inch off track, he would screech at me to get back to work. This is my life now. Welcome to camp, I guess. And at 3, Alien Invasion. I had just gotten a TV for my house, and by the time it was working, it was 3:32 AM in game. I turned it on and only got static, but the moment it hit 3:33, an alien popped up on screen. He started speaking gibberish, but a text box said that he was coming, that he'd be here by tomorrow, and that if you saw the message, we should prepare for his arrival. He was right. That afternoon he showed up and went total ape. He was screaming about a red carpet and how he hadn't prepared for his arrival. Then he took out what I can only describe as a phaser and began blasting everyone in town, vaporizing them instantly. I ran to hide inside someone's house, but I could hear the phaser blasting outside. Eventually, he came in and looked at me. He says he knows I was the one to see the broadcast, and that I should have done more. I saw him charge the phaser, but then the DS shut off. And at 2, Gyroid. What if I told you that Animal Crossing prepared us for death? Well, while playing the game, you save at the fire hydrants outside of your home called gyroids. And while their purpose in game is to save, their history in our world is incredibly dark and grim. It makes me reconsider the point of these hydrants. If I butcher this, I'm sorry. Gyroids are based on Haniwa. If I said that wrong, I apologize. Clay figures used in Japanese funerals. They work like headstones and were believed to contain the soul of the deceased. This is true in Animal Crossing. After saving my game and closing, I remembered I forgot to do something, so I relaunched the game immediately. When the game loaded, it was in black and white, and the world was not the same as when I left it. I was in there with all the other characters, and when I talk to any of them, they just wail as if they were ghosts, which makes me realize that I'm in purgatory, and that every time you save, you send your soul to the devil as payment for your life, and Satan sends it back up every time you load, unless you do it too quickly. Don't know how that's creepy, but. Finally, in at number 1. King Tut. In Animal Crossing, you're able to customize your clothing. It's been a staple of the series for as long as I can remember, but one of the items is cursed. The King Tut mask is a part of the Egyptian look, but is guaranteed to bring out as much bad luck as possible. While wearing it, you will constantly trip, drop floating items, and bugs will keep attacking you no matter what. The mask is constantly trying to kill you, and if it ends up doing so, everything will be wiped from your game, causing you to restart. That's if it doesn't corrupt your save first. There we have it, friends, the top 10 Animal Crossing creepypastas. Are there any creepypastas you'd like on this list or any that I missed? Let me know below, and on your way down there, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Showerman Connor Monroe. I'll see you in another video.